Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today to refresh our memories on what a party caller is, how it relates to protocol, and the differences in definition concerning each protocol discipline. Before we dive in, let's make sure we can define a party caller so that we're all on the same playing field. It's the relationship of the caller to the incident being reported. The party of the caller can be different based on the protocol discipline being utilized. In EMD, a first party is going to be considered the patient themselves. A second party is going to be someone who is in close proximity to the patient, ideally next to them. A third party is the caller who is not directly involved with or in close proximity, but knows enough to call for help. And a fourth party is considered to be the referring agency and may or may not have knowledge of Priority Dispatch or its systems. When thinking about third-party callers, this is the person who drove by an accident and saw someone hurt, or the relative who is on the way to the house where the incident happened after receiving the call from the loved one. When we think about fourth-party callers, let's first define what a referring agency is. And a referring agency is a business that provides clients with referrals for service under a contract, or essentially passes a matter to another body for a decision. This can be a different PSAP, but it's often an alarm company. So knowing this, let's take a moment and let's practice and determine the party caller. Each of these three people represents a call for help. In the first example, the caller has identified themselves as the person having the medical complaint. I'm having really sharp pains in my chest. This makes them a first-party caller. In the second instance, the caller has identified themselves as a referring agency. I'm with GenMed Alarm Company. I'm calling to report a fall detection. This makes them a fourth-party caller. And lastly, on the right, the caller has indicated that the patient is next to them. Therefore, this makes them a second-party caller. This guy came up to me and said that he broke his arm. In EFD, the definitions have changed. A first party is a caller in the immediate area of the incident and is directly involved. A second party is a caller in the immediate area but is not directly involved in the incident. And a third party is a caller who is not in the immediate area but who knows something about the incident. And a fourth party, a referring agency, alarm company, or person. What's going to determine a party caller concerning EFD is proximity and involvement. A first-party caller requests fire department assistance for something that they are directly involved with. This can be a parent calling because their child is locked in the car in front of them. This can be a person calling needing to be helped from the ground after slipping out of a chair. Second-party callers are around the incident but are not directly involved. And this person is across the street and reporting that their neighbor's house is on fire, or the person who calls to report that they can see their next-door neighbor burning trash in their backyard. An example of a third-party caller is someone who sees smoke coming from the side of a mountain 10 miles away, which means that they're not in the immediate area, but they know something about the incident. And the definition of fourth party is going to remain the same as in EMD. Once again, let's practice by determining the party caller for each. The caller on the left has stated that they are no longer in the immediate area, but know something about the incident, making them a third-party caller. The caller in the middle's initial statement, "My house is burning down," may be assumed first party. However, without further audio cues or further seen information in today's digital world, the caller may have been alerted due to something like a video doorbell or other means. Is it likely that the caller is first party? Yes. Though making sure to ask, "Are you at that location now?" when prompted in protocol, and understanding the difference between assumption and something being obvious is vital in asking pertinent protocol questions and providing all possible and appropriate PDIs later in the protocol. The person on the right has indicated that they are in the immediate area. I see my neighbor's house across the street and it's burning down, but they are not directly involved. This makes them a second-party caller. Speaking of PDIs and calling parties, PDIs are meant to be given in a materially identical way as possible and as appropriate. So when we use EFD, the PDIs are typically more safety-oriented, and this can sometimes lead to an awkward disconnect statement. So when appropriate, I suggest saying something to the effect of, "The fire department is being sent. I'm going to let you go now. Help is on the way. If anything worsens in any way, call us back immediately for further instructions." And this, of course, presumes that other PDIs are not indicated, but it adds to the flow and enhances the protocol to some degree. I'm still reading all PDIs in a materially identical and appropriate way. This brings us lastly to EPD. The definitions when using EPD Our first party is going to be victims or suspects. A second party is at the scene but not the victim or the suspect. A third party is not on scene or in the immediate area. And a fourth party, once again, is the reporting agency or alarm company. Notice that with first party in EPD, the language has again changed to reflect a law enforcement call. Now the first party is considered to be a victim or a suspect. So finally, one more practice. Let's determine the calling party for each of these three persons. The person on the left has identified themselves as the suspect. This makes them a first party caller. The person in the middle has identified themselves as the victim. This man just stole my purse, making them once again a first party caller. And the person on the right has indicated that they are at the scene, but not the victim or the suspect, making them a second party. I just saw this man steal this woman's purse. So some final thoughts here is that selecting the correct calling party in case entry is going to be an essential part of protocol, as this changes the verbiage when asking questions and when giving instructions. Suppose the calling party changes unexpectedly while processing the call, and in that case, changing the calling party back in case entry will be beneficial. This will then change the rhetoric, reduce the risk of error in asking questions that may be only intended for a certain calling party. The example that comes to mind here is in EMD when we ask, is he changing color? We don't ask first-party callers that question, and we don't ask third-party callers that question unless previously offered information would suggest they have the answer. That question is intended to be for second party only. Generally, the sweet spot for a calling party is second. A second party can give real-time information, and they can also assist with patient care if needed. And that being said, remember that scene safety and the safety of our callers and our responders should always take precedence. So thanks for spending some time with me today, guys, to review party callers. And as always, if you have any questions and would like to reach out, please do so at the 911 training at eptc911.org. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we upload all our CDE videos for future reference. And you can find us there by searching for the El Paso Teller 911 QA department. Have a great day.